Hey guys, this is God of Politics. More to a brand new video, but before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. But in today's video, I'm going to do the next episode of my redistricting series. This is episode 7, and I'm doing my 8th state today, and my 8th state will be the state of Nevada. The reason I'm doing the 8th state, not the 7th for the 7th episode, is because I did, of course, Maine and Montana in the same episode, but I do have another episode here to do, and normally I do these episodes on the weekends, but the reason that I'm doing it today is because really there aren't that many things to make videos about, and that's in part the reason that I haven't been uploading as much lately. I haven't uploaded in, I believe, 5 days, so I apologize for that. But the main reason is just there isn't as much to make videos about anymore, and really, of course there are some events, redistricting, which is what I'm making videos about, the Virginia governor elections, New Jersey, etc., some special elections, but other than that, there isn't really that much to talk about. Before the 2020 election, there was a lot to talk about, and that's why I made videos every single day, but there is not that same kind of content anymore. But what I am encouraging all of you to do watching this video is to comment down below ideas that you want me to make for my next couple of videos, because I'm open to talking about all sorts of political events, history, even foreign politics. And so anything you guys want to see, comment it down below, and I'll be sure to work on that sort of video. So in today's video, I'm going to be mapping out the prediction that I am making for the congressional districts in Nevada. Now, as you can see here, there are currently 3 Democratic districts and 1 Republican district, and these districts have flipped back and forth a little bit. The 3rd and 4th district used to be both Republican after the 2014 midterms. Now they are both Democrat with a total of 3 Democratic seats. This is the second decade that they're going to be having 4 congressional districts. Before this, they had 3 congressional districts. The decade before, they had 2. The decade before that, they also had 2. Every decade before that, they only had 1 congressional district, but it is a state that is gaining a lot in population, and so that's going to change a lot of these congressional districts. Now, one thing that we have to note here is that there is a VRA district, and that is the 1st district where Dinah Titus is. It is currently 43% white on the citizen voting age population. Now, these numbers are a little bit skewed, I've found. But it is, I think, majority Hispanic, but if not, it's still a required district by the VRA. And so what I think that they're going to do is make a district that looks roughly similar to that. As you can see here, it does follow a lot of the city lines over here, and so of course it actually does split up a lot of the city lines, but it keeps most of Las Vegas together, keeps most of Paradise and a good amount of Spring Valley together, and it's reasonably compact as well, because this is a map that was drawn by a court after the legislature and the governor could not agree on a map. But I do think that they're going to draw a different map this time, and I think that they're going to do that by keeping, of course, a lot of these Hispanic communities together in the Las Vegas area. And then you'll see one of the weirdest things that you'll ever see in a congressional district after this, and I'll get to that a little bit later on. But what we're going to have happen probably is just a lot of these heavy Hispanic areas be included in the 1st congressional district, and I think it's going to remain reasonably compact as well, and I think that that is a positive thing, because I really am in favor of fair maps. I don't want any gerrymandering to happen. I wish every state had an independent commission, a process like California, a process like Michigan even, because I think that this is a more transparent process and you get more fair maps, and I think that that's not what we're going to see in the state of Nevada, unfortunately. Maybe if you had a split delegation, a Republican state senate, a Republican governor, whatever it be, you'd have a more fair map, because it would probably end up being drawn by a court. But that's not what we're going to have this time, because right now Democrats have a trifecta. They've got a Democratic governor, they've got a state senate that is pretty heavily Democratic. Same thing with the state house. And so you can see there's small area already has over 300,000 people here, and so that is because it's, the middle of Las Vegas. It's a very densely populated area, and it's 34% white, 37% Hispanic, but that number will go down slightly as we go into more of these outskirts of the city, which are a little bit whiter, and we're actually into other areas of Nevada. And so we're up to 400,000 people now, and it is still reasonably compact, but we're going to have it stretch out into some of these other areas, as of course, I said before, Paradise is in the current district. That's probably going to be in the district in the next redistricting as well. and we're up to almost 600,000 or almost 500,000 people here. And it's still got a lot of these areas. It may actually take all of this city over here. We may actually have to split up some of these precincts, which is never fun to do. But of course, this is just, again, a little bit more of just a model of what it'll be like. It'll differ a little bit from what I'm showing, but more or less it will look like this, because we're now up to 37% white for this district. It's actually going to need to take a couple of these precincts over here just to have it be contiguous. But just to make sure that we have all of this over here, it's going to need to take these precincts, these very small, little tiny precincts over here. But we need still 200,000 people for this district, which we should be getting. It's 37% white now. The current one is about 47% white, or not 47, 40% white. This one's 37% white. So we're almost there already. We need 180,000 more people here. It's at 38% white approximately now. It should take the rest of this town over here. Maybe it stretches a little bit more into North Las Vegas. Maybe it takes some of these precincts over here. And these precincts are quite blue. You can see that Hillary got 65% of the vote here, almost 66% actually. And so maybe if we actually take some of these red precincts, which are more to this western part over here, which does make it slightly less compact. But again, this is going to be quite an egregious gerrymander, as you will see. And it's going to start off quite well with this compact first district, but it does get quite a bit worse as we go on here. So we need 70,000 more people in this district. We're now down to 64% Democratic, but it's going to take a lot of these precincts over here. We need about 50,000 people now. It's going to take this Summerlin area. It's getting a lot less Democratic. It's now to 42% white, which is not ideal. You'd want it to be a little bit less, even if you're drawing a Democratic gerrymander, just so there's no threat of a court striking it down. But like I said, there's a little bit of issues with these numbers, so it should take a lot of these areas up here. It's going to be quite compact if we just take more of these precincts over here. And that should be good. Maybe if we take one of these precincts over here away from it, that's about accurate about what they're probably going to draw here. It's 42% white, 29.8% Hispanic, which is roughly similar to the current one. It's almost exact same Hispanic percentage. It's a little bit whiter and a little bit less black, or actually a little bit more black, I should say. But overall, that's probably what they're going to do with this district. Now, here's where it gets a little bit egregious, and what we're going to have happen for this second district. Actually, maybe we should do the third district. Second district is the one up north. But what's going to happen with the second district is it's going to take a lot of these areas down in the southern part of the state, a lot of these Democratic areas in the southern part of Clark County, Spring Valley, Paradise, etc., all of those areas. And we've already got 500,000 people here. But what will probably have happen, of course, using that city thing on DRA is not the best. But it's going to take a lot of these areas over here. Just disregard that. But we can just take a lot of these precincts here. It needs 230,000 more people. We can have it take the rest of these precincts over here. And if we have it take those there, and we put these precincts into the district, it needs about 200,000 more people here. And you can see that it's about D plus 11. And we may have to make some adjustments to this later on once you see what I do with the fourth district. But this is more or less what it's going to look like. How many people does this Henderson over here have? Because we need 100. Actually, that is 300,000 people. They may end up having to split that up, to be honest. But what's going to end up happening is a lot of these precincts are going to go in here. Summerlin South probably going to go into the district. And these precincts over here up in the northern part of the district. So it still needs 150,000 more people. We're probably going to have it take some more Democratic areas. Hopefully these areas of Henderson are more Democratic. A little bit of them are. A little bit of them aren't. We could have it take these precincts over here in Whitney, which should make it more Democratic. Now, this doesn't have to be too Democratic because this district in its current form was a district that President Trump won in 2016 and barely lost in 2020. So even if you make it, 2 points more Democratic, that is a plus for the Democratic Party. And so what's going to happen here is it's going to get a lot more safe because right now we're at D plus 10. And so it's going to have to take some of these Republican precincts over here. That's just an unfortunate fact of life. Of course, these precincts are going to be really annoying. Let's see if I can use this tool to try and get away from some of these straight precincts. It doesn't really do that, but we can fix that later on. I'll fix the contiguity issue with this. Actually, we can probably just add most of these precincts to this district over here, and you can still see that it's over 10 percentage points Democrat. Maybe you could make it a little bit more Democratic if you don't add some of those red precincts to the south, but I think that they're going to try and make it look a little bit less egregious by doing that in the way that I've done it. And so here, if we add these precincts over here, we can add these precincts down here. It shouldn't make too much of a difference, but we're also going to want to add some of these precincts up here, which aren't too heavily Democratic, but they're not heavily Republican, and so it's going to stay hopefully above 10 percentage points Democratic. We need 50,000 more people here still, and so, you know, again, this doesn't look too great. Maybe they actually do go under 10 percentage points Democratic, but we can make some adjustments to that later on. Needs 13,000 more people here, 10,000, 7,000, 5,000. That should be good if we just add a couple more of these precincts. It's about R+8 now. Maybe if we actually take that precinct away and add maybe this one instead. Actually, that's too many. We could add this one. Yep, sure, whatever. That's good enough. So that's probably what they'll end up doing for this district. Let's actually just fix this part of the first district. We have, for some reason, a lot of stray precincts in the Nevada area. Let's see if this tool can try and fix some of them. It doesn't really, and that's going to make an issue with the contiguousness of the 4th district, but it is what it is. So when we add the rest of this district to, or rest of this county, I should say, to the 4th district, it's lean Republican, and you can see that. And it only needs 48,000 more people here, but what we're going to find out is that it can stretch. Actually, we won't actually have all of this Clark County area. We're going to have a lot of these areas be put into the 2nd district. So you're going to have Clark County be split into 4 different districts, and you actually might have that Henderson area being split up as well, because it is a more Republican area. And again, they can be pretty egregious here with this gerrymander because they do have total control here. There aren't really any state guidelines. And so that's going to make it a lot easier to do this gerrymander. Of course, a lot of these areas I do believe are going to go into this 2nd district here. We're going to have to fix a lot of these areas from being in this district and the 4th district here, because now you see it needs 279,000 more people here. And the 2nd district can take a lot of these red areas of Henderson, which is a more conservative city. Now, again, these real small precincts are being real annoying. But I can take these out of the district, and so that should be good enough. If we actually go back to map colors over here, we've basically taken all of those precincts out of there, and then that part can go in that district. We can take some more of these precincts over here, and so here's where it gets really egregious. What's going to happen is the 2nd district is going to stretch along the Nevada-California border and kind of just go up this border over here, and they'll probably split some precincts instead of doing this, but as you can see, they're going to go up the border here and take it to Reno. Reno is a more Democratic area, a Democratic city, part of Washoe County, a county that Joe Biden won in 2020. Hillary Clinton barely won. Catherine Cortez Masto lost in 2020, or 2016, I should say, and she may lose it in 2022, but we can see here that we can almost reach Reno and still have 229,000 more people to put in this district. And so this is where it gets more heavily Democratic, because right now it still leans Republican slightly by less than a point, but it still does lean Republican. But when we add Reno to this district, which I may actually just use the tool, the brush size filter here, and just add these all to the district, still needs 161,000 more people, which we should be able to get from most of this area, and you can see it's D+4 at this point. Of course, you could be a little bit more efficient than this, but again, I'm just making this for a video. We need 30,000 more people. It's about D+6 now. Should be able to take some of these blue precincts, and of course, like I said, you could be more efficient than this. You could make a more Democratic district, but it's already more Democratic in and of itself. It'll take these blue precincts over here. We just add some more of them. All right, so we've added these precincts. These precincts don't have any people, so we can just add those. And then we need these districts. We need this district to be over R+5-ish, which it is. And so that's probably what they'll end up doing here. Of course, it does take some more Republican areas, but that's more or less what the district is probably going to look like, very unfortunately. Actually, we're going to have to add this precinct here. But unfortunately, that is probably what this district is going to look like. It's not ideal. It's not great. But that's probably what it's going to look like. And now, like I said before, like I've said a couple times now, you can make both of these districts more democratic. You can make the 3rd and 4th district more heavily democratic. The way you do that is by putting some more blue precincts from the 1st district into the 3rd and 4th district. You can do that. I'll do it off camera. But overall, this is mainly what the district is going to look like. It's quite an egregious gerrymander stretching all the way from Las Vegas to Reno. But it is probably what they're going to end up doing, and it is very, very unfortunate. So, thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, follow me on Twitter and join the Discord. Those are both linked down in the description. Make sure to comment down below any video ideas that you do have for me to make. So, again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.